So why are such beneficial ancient practices being labeled orthodox and then immediately implemented once there is a Western approval?
That's because you don't have the right color of the skin. And I have seen hundreds and thousands of people who just become healthy and well simply because they're not fueling up all the time when the tank is filling. Empty stomach and hunger are two different things. Hunger means your energy levels start dropping. But empty stomach is a good thing. In the yogic sciences, today modern science also is coming in line with this. But what we know by our experience, you will spend $1 billion to come there. Because research is all about how many $1 million, that's how it is. Your body and your brain works at its best only when your stomach is empty. So we always make sure we eat in such a way, how much ever we eat, our stomach must be always empty within 2 to 2.5 hours' time maximum. Because any correction and purification that needs to happen in the body, your stomach needs to be empty, it's very, very important. Otherwise, the purification on the cellular level will not happen. You pile up things and then you have all kinds of problems. The first thing is inertia in the body. So in this there are many aspects. One important aspect is people are eating much more than what they should eat. Simply because they have been told, you must eat more, otherwise you will become weak, this, that. No, it is the way you keep your body. A fuel… today everybody is trying to work towards a fuel-efficient car, motorcycle, everything. This means what? If the machine runs smoothly, it'll consume less fuel, isn't it? So if you sit here and you are very much at ease, now it'll consume less fuel. If you like this all the time, then it'll consume more fuel, it'll want you to eat. Compulsiveness will come about this. So, this new name, intermittent eating, minimum 8 hours gap is what is recommended in yoga. Between one meal and the next meal, there must be an 8-hour space. If you do this, you will see half your problems of health, whatever you have health problems, minimum 50% will go away in 6 weeks' time. If you do certain other things which may right now seem little extreme to you, if you have a little yogic practice, something meditative within you, then you will see 90% of your problem will go off. 10% if it still persists, we can treat it. See, health is not something you can do from outside. Health is something you have to do from within. From outside, when something goes wrong, you can seek some help. But all the time something is wrong with you, this means what? You're a faulty machine. Yes? All the time something is wrong with you, why? That's not how this is designed. This is designed for health. Every cell in your body is designed to create health, isn't it? They're all working hard to create health, except you.
For that, in India, they fixed what is called as Ekadashi. That means 4 days before the full moon, 4 days before the new moon day, people don't eat. They wake up in the morning, no breakfast, no lunch, only after the sun sets they eat one meal. This is just to allow the system to realign itself. If you give this break, it's very, very good for your health and your body, the way it functions. Because the system needs that time to adjust itself. Everyday food, it's a lot of hard work for the body. Give it a little break. If you're not able to fast, and one day you go on something lighter, maybe just juices or something else, which is much lighter for the system to handle, definitely body will be very grateful to you.
He became one of the most outstanding scientists of our time.
We can live just on water for 10 days without any nutrient, but protein synthesis continues. This is autophagy. Auto means self, and phagy means eating, so self-eating process. In our body, we are making 200 to 300 grams of protein every day, but we intake 70 to 80 grams of protein. That means most of the protein synthesis is maintained by our own protein degradation. Autophagy is one of the most important pathways to degrade protein inside the cell. Without autophagy, cell cannot survive. When I started, I didn't expect autophagy to be very important to medical application, but we found autophagy is important for degradation of the harmful protein that cause neurodegeneration. We need to understand how degradation is regulated. And once we know how it's controlled, that might be a very good chance to cure neurodegeneration disease. That's the way basic science plays important role for human beings.
We really look forward to Dr. Usumi's Nobel lecture with the title Autophagy and Intercellular Recycling System. And please join me in welcoming Professor Usumi on stage.
It's a great honor for me to be here as a recipient of Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. First, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Karolinska Institute and Nobel Foundation.
Fasting in Ramadan. Yoshinori Oshumi, a Japanese cell biologist, was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his discoveries on how cells recycle their content, a process known as autophagy, a Greek term for self-eating. It is a crucial process. During starvation, cells break down proteins and non-essential components and reuse them for energy. Cells also use autophagy to destroy invading viruses and bacteria, sending them off for recycling. And cells use autophagy to get rid of damaged structures. The process is thought to go awry in cancer, infectious diseases, immunological diseases, and neurodegenerative disorders. Disruptions in autophagy are also thought to play a role in aging. The Japanese scientist has scientifically substantiated that fasting is good for one's health, reports the Komsomolskaya Pravda Russian newspaper. The Nobel Prize Committee said Osumi's discoveries have led to a new paradigm in our understanding of how a cell processes its contents. His discoveries have opened new ways of understanding the fundamental importance of autophagy for a large number of physiological processes, such as adaptation to starvation and response to an infection. The Nobel Prize winner's discovery indicates that abstaining from food and keeping fasts is wholesome. The body truly cleans itself. This is confirmed by the Nobel Prize Committee.
Cells and cells, over 100 billion cells they say. All these cells are essentially coded and, geared for health, for survival mainly. Their own individual survival and the survival of the organism. A few of them take shortcuts they want to survive upon others. It's crime, you know. So there is a pickpocket. What is his business? What you took 1 month to earn, he wants to pick it up in 1 day. But he is also part of the society till he is caught, all right? Now if all the pickpockets of the country got together and they came to Delhi, now everybody's pockets will be gone because now it's organized. So right now, what you call as cancer is just this. In everybody's body, there are cancerous cells. When they get organized and get focused in one place, then it becomes a serious problem, to a point where it can take one's life. What is the solution? There are many things to say. First of all, crime flourishes where there is no order in the system, yes? Criminals in the society will flourish if the law enforcement is not in order. So there is a defense mechanism in our system. Are we keeping it well? Are we bombarding it with all kinds of stimulants, intoxicants, everything, and then we're expecting our defense mechanism to work? It won't work like that. We must understand every stimulant and every intoxicant we consume in some way dents our defense mechanism. People think defense mechanism is only for external infections. No. Even to contain the internal criminals in the body, the defense mechanism works. So a simple thing is, you know, in the yogic system, this is a simple logic. These cancerous cells in our body, they consume usually about 27 to 28 times of food than the normal cells. So, if you space out your meal, an ideal spacing between one meal and the next in the yogic culture is 8 to 12 hours. If you space out 8 hours meals, you will see the cancerous cells will all die by themselves because they cannot survive without food. Other cells will survive. So always we fixed it, morning one meal, evening one meal, no in-between eating. And once in a way, every month, twice a month or once a month, people are practicing 1 full day, no food. These are simple ways to control this. Apart from that, there are various other things. Above all, if your mind and body is at a certain ease, these will not survive. If your mind and body is in a certain sense of strife, then these will survive, and not only survive, they will flourish. If the society is in strife, organized crimes rise. If the society is in order, very little crime happens. The same is true with our physiological structure.
అన్నం తినకుండా ఉంటే ఏమంటారు? లంకణం అని అంటారు. ఈ అన్నం తినకపోతే రోగం తగ్గటం ఏమిటి? ఏదైనా రోగం తగ్గాలంటే లోపల శక్తి రావాలి కదా, ఇది మీ సందేహం. కానీ పెద్దలు ఏం చెప్తున్నారు? నహి పథ్య విహీనస్యతు ఔషధానాం శతైరపి. ఏ ఔషధాలు తీసుకోవాలన్నా ముందు పథ్యం చేయాలి. ఏది పడితే అది ఎంత క్వాంటిటీ తినాలో కూడా తెలియకుండా ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టు పరిమాణంలో మనం తినేస్తే ఆరోగ్యం క్షయించేస్తుంది. కాబట్టి తినేటువంటి విధానం తెలియాలి. కొన్నిసార్లు ఏకాదశులు వాటికి మనం ఉపవాసం ఉండటం తెలియాలి. అసలు మహానుభావులైనటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఏం చెప్పారనంటే ఔషధం ఎప్పుడు పనిచేస్తుందంటే లంకనం చేసినప్పుడు. చాలా ఆశ్చర్యంగా ఉంది కదా. పథ్యే సతి గదార్థస్య కిం ఔషధ నిషేవణం, పథ్యే అసతి గదార్థస్య ఔషధం నిషేవణం, కిం ఔషధ నిషేవణం అన్నారు. అంటే మందు తాగితే ప్రయోజనం ఏమిటి పథ్యం చేయకపోతే? పథ్యమే చేసామనుకో అసలు మందుతో పని ఏమిటి? అంటే మందుతో సమానమైనటువంటిది ఏమిటి? లంకణం ఉండటం, పథ్యం చేయటం. కాబట్టి పథ్యే సతి గదార్థస్య కిం ఔషధ నిషేవణం, పథ్యే అసతి గదార్థస్య కిం ఔషధ నిషేవణం. కాబట్టి ఈ లంకణం యొక్క గొప్పతనాన్ని తెలుసుకోవాలి. మనం మందులు వాడుతున్నాం కదా అని చెప్పేసి ఏది తినద్దో అది తినేస్తే ఈ మందు తగ్గించేస్తుంది కదా, కాబట్టి మా ఇష్టం వచ్చినప్పుడు తినేస్తామండి అని అనకూడదు.
యషినోరి ఈయన జపాన్ సైంటిస్ట్ 2016వ సంవత్సరంలో నిరూపించినందుకు ఫాస్టింగ్లో ఇంత పవర్ఫుల్ మెకానిజం ఉందని నిరూపించినందుకు నోబెల్ ప్రైజ్ పొందిన గొప్ప వ్యక్తి అన్నమాట వీరు. అంటే ఋషులు కొన్ని వందల సంవత్సరాల క్రితం చెప్పిన దాన్ని ఫాస్టింగ్ ద్వారా ఇప్పుడు నిరూపిస్తే మరి అంత మెకానిజం చూడండి. అంచేత ఉపవాసాలు చేయండి అని నేను ఎందుకు ఎప్పుడు చెప్తుంటానంటే ఇంత మంచిది. కణం తన అవసరం లేని పనికిరాని పదార్థాలను కణమే తినే ప్రక్రియ. కణం లోపల అనేక భాగాలు ఉన్నాయి కదా, ఇవన్నీ చెడిపోయినా, పని చేయకపోయినా, ముసలైకపోయినా, మరి ఏదైనా ఇట్లాంటివి ఏమైనా ఉంటే, వేస్ట్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే వాటన్నిటినీ కణమే తినేసి కణం లోపల క్లీన్గా ఉంచుకుంటుందన్నమాట. ఈ ప్రక్రియని ఆటోఫాగీ అంటారనమాట. మొట్టమొదటి నియమం, రోజుకి 2 సార్లు మీరు ఆహారం తినాలి. ఇది ఒక నియమం. ఇంకొక నియమం ఏంటంటే రోజులో 60% అన్నా 70% అన్నా న్యాచురల్ ఫుడ్ తినాలి. ఈ 2 ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ని కనుక మీరు అమలు చేయగలిగితే క్యాన్సర్ రాకుండా మీరు ఆరోగ్యంగా ఆనందంగా జీవించవచ్చు. ద్విభుక్తం ఏనాటి నుంచో ఋషులు చెప్పారు, ద్విభుక్తే సదా భోగి. త్రిభుక్తం పొరపాటున చేస్తే రోగి జీవితాన్ని గడపాల్సి వస్తుందని త్రిభుక్తే సదా రోగి అన్నారు. అంచేత మనం ఉద్యోగస్తులు, వ్యాపారస్తులు నీడపట్టున కూర్చునేవాళ్ళం, కష్టపడిన వాళ్ళం కాబట్టి ద్విభుక్తానికి మారండి. న్యాచురల్ ఫుడ్ 60% 70% అమలు చేయండి. ఆరోగ్యాన్ని సొంతం చేసుకోండి, రక్షణ వ్యవస్థను పెంచుకోండి. లైఫ్లో క్యాన్సర్ రాకుండా మన ఫ్యామిలీ అంతా హెల్దీగా గడపడానికి దీనికి మించిన ఆయుధం మరొకటి లేదని అందరూ கிரகிஸ்தாரன்னு ஆசிஸ்து. நமஸ்காரம்.
சரியான நேரத்தில் சாப்பிட்லன்னா நிறையா பிரச்சனை வரும்னு எல்லோரும் சொல்கிறாங்கல்ல. சரி, இந்த உலகத்தில் டைமுக்கு சாப்பிட்ற மிருகங்கள் ஏதாவது சொல்லுங்கள் பார்க்கலாம். இப்போது புலி எடுத்துக்குங்க. காலையில் எந்திரிச்ச உடனே 9 மணி ஆச்சு, மான் ஒன்றும் சிக்க மாட்டேங்குது. சரி, நமக்கு டைம் லேட் ஆகிடுச்சுன்னா நமக்கு பிரச்சனை ஆயிரும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு 1/2 கிலோ மான்கறி பார்சல் அப்படின்னு புலி என்ன ஸ்விக்கியில் ஏதாவது ஆர்டர் பண்ணுமா? இல்லை இந்த ஆடு மாடுலாம் பார்த்துக்குங்க, காலையில் 1 கட்டு புல், மத்தியானம் கொஞ்சம் கம்மியாக 1/2 கட்டு புல், நைட்டு 1/4 கட்டு புல் அப்படின்னு டைமுக்கு அளவு கணக்கு வச்சு சாப்பிடுதா? உலகத்தில் இருக்கிற எந்த ஜீவராசிங்க டைம் கணக்கெலாம் வச்சு சாப்பிட்டுட்டு இருக்குது? மிருகங்கள்லாம் விடுங்க, ஆதிகால மனுஷன் எடுத்துக்குங்க. அவனோட வாழ்க்கையே ஃபாஸ்டிங் அண்ட் ஃபீஸ்டிங், அதாவது விரதமும் விருந்தும் கலந்து தான் அவனோட வாழ்க்கையே இருந்துச்சு. எப்பயாவது வேட்டையில் கிடச்சிதுன்னா அல்லது பழங்காரம் கிடச்சிதுன்னா சாப்பிடுவான். கிடைக்காட்டி 1-2 நாள் பட்னியாக இருப்பான். அவன் சேமித்து வச்ச கொழுப்பை அந்த சமயத்தில் எரிசக்தியாக செலவு பண்ணிப்பான். இப்படி தாங்க விரதமும் விருந்தும் கலந்து தானே அவனோட வாழ்வே இருந்துட்டு இருந்துச்சு. இதில் திடீர்னு வந்துட்டு டைமுக்கு சாப்பிடாட்டி பல நோய்கள் வந்துடும் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறத நினச்சி எனக்கு சிரிக்கிறதா அழுகிறதான்னு தெரியலிங்க. பழைய கதைலாம் விடுங்க. போன 2016 மருத்துவத்தில் நோபல் பரிசு வாங்கின யோஷினரி ஒஷிமி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு ஜப்பானிய ஆராய்ச்சியாளர்கள் எதுக்காக தெரியுங்களா நோபல் பிரைஸ் வாங்கினார்? ஆட்டோஃபேகி அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு விஷயத்தை கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்காருங்க. அப்படின்னா சில இந்த ஈஸ்ட் செல்களெல்லாம் பட்னி போட்டால் உள்ள ஆட்டோஃபேகோசோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு உறுப்பு செயல்பட ஆரம்பித்து செல்லுக்குள்ளே இருக்கிற சின்ன மற்ற ஆர்கனல்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு மற்ற பழைய பாகங்களை தானாக சாப்பிட ஆரம்பிச்சிருதான். இந்த ஆட்டோஃபேகோசோம் இந்த வேலை சரியாக நடக்கலை அப்படின்னா தான் பல டைம் பார்த்திங்கன்னா பல கிருமி தாக்கங்கள், அப்புறம் டைப் 2 சர்க்கரை நோய், பல நரம்பியல் நோய்கள், அப்புறம் பலவிதமான கேன்சர்கள், ஏன் அதெல்லாம் விடுங்க, வயசாகிறதே இந்த ஆட்டோஃபேகோசோம் சரியாக செயல்படாதனால தான் அப்படின்னு கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்காருங்க. இதுக்கு காரணமான ஜீன்களெல்லாம் தூண்டிவிட்டு இந்த கேன்சர் செல் அழிக்கிறதுக்கு மருந்து கண்டுபிடிக்கணும் அப்படின்னு 500 கோடி 1000 கோடிலாம் ஒதுக்கி நிறைய பேர் செலவு பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஆனால் ரொம்ப சிம்பிளாக இந்த ஆட்டோஃபேகியை தூண்டி விடுறது சிம்பிள் விஷயம் என்னென்னா நம்ம விரத முறை தாங்க. இவ்வளோ விஷயம் இருக்குது இந்த விரத முறையில்.
ஸோ இந்த சயின்டிஸ்டோட கண்டுபிடிப்பு என்னன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, எப்போ ஒரு செல்லுக்கு எனர்ஜி கிடைக்கிறது ஸ்டாப் ஆகுதோ அப்போ என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா அந்த செல்லில் உள்ள கழிவை அந்த செல்லே சாப்பிட்டுட்டு அந்த சாப்பிட்ட இடத்துல புது செல் ஃபார்ம் ஆயிடுது. இப்போ எதாவது பக்கத்தில் ஒரு டெட் செல் இருந்துன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, அந்த டெட் செல்லையும் அதை சாப்பிட்டு முடிச்சிருது. இப்போ கேன்சர் பேஷண்ட்லாம் பார்த்திங்கன்னா அவங்களுக்கு டெட் செல் நிறையா இருக்கும். ஸோ அதனால அது கேன்சர் வந்திருக்கு. ஸோ இப்போது நம்ம அந்த ஒவ்வொரு செல்லுக்கும் கிடைக்கிற நம்ம சக்தியை நம்ம ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிட்டோன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக அது பக்கத்தில் இருக்கிற டெட் செல்லெல்லாம் சாப்பிட்டு முடிச்சுட்டு அந்த கேன்சரே க்யூர் ஆகிடுது. ஸோ நான் ஃபஸ்ட்டே சொன்ன மாதிரி பார்த்திங்கன்னா நம்ம சாப்பிட்ற சாப்பாட்டில் இருந்து தான் நம்மளோட செல்லுக்கு தேவையான சக்தியெல்லாம் கிடைக்குது. ஸோ நம்ம சாப்பிட்றத ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிட்டோன்னா செல்லுக்கு கிடைக்கிற சக்தி ஸ்டாப் ஆகிடும். ஸோ அப்போ என்ன செய்யும், நம்ம பிரெயின் இம்மிடியேட்டாக எல்லா செல்லுக்கும் ஒரு ஆர்டர் போடும். ஸோ நீங்கள் உங்களோட செல்லில் உள்ள கழிவுகளே சாப்பிட்டுட்டு உங்களுக்கு தேவையான சக்தியை ஜென்ரேட் பண்ணிக்கோங்கன்னு சொல்லி. ஸோ இதைத்தான் நம்ம விரதம் இருக்கிறது மூலமாக நம்ம செல்லுக்கு கிடைக்கிற சக்தியை ஸ்டாப் பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ விரதம் நீங்கள் நார்மலாக ஒரு காலையில் ஒரு 8 மணிக்கு ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், ஒரு 9 o'clock 10 o'clock போல் உங்களுக்கு மூளை உங்களோட பசியை தூண்டும் அப்படியும். ஸோ நீங்கள் எதாவது சாப்பிட்ணும் போல் தோண வைக்கும். ஸோ அப்போயே நீங்கள் வந்து உங்களோட மைண்டை நீங்கள் கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணிவிட்டு சாப்பிடாமல் விட்டுட்டீங்க. ஸோ அப்புறம் என்ன ஆகணும், உங்களுக்கு ஒரு கேஸ்ட்ரைட்டிஸ் ப்ராப்ளம் மாதிரி வரும், வயிறு வலிக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஸோ ஏதோ ஒன்று மூளை வந்து தொந்தரவு கொடுத்துட்டே இருக்கும், உங்களை சாப்பிட சொல்லி ஃபோர்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கும். ஸோ ஏன்னா ஒவ்வொரு செல்லுக்கும் ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் மாதிரி ஆகிடுச்சு, அதுக்கு எனர்ஜி கிடைக்கிற ஸ்டாப் ஆகிடுச்சு. ஸோ அதனால் பிரெயின் வந்து உங்களை தூண்டிக்கிட்டே இருக்கும், பசியை தூண்டிக்கிட்டே இருக்கும். ஸோ நீங்கள் வந்து ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிட்டீங்க சாப்பிட்றத, உங்கள் மைண்ட் வந்து ஸ்டெடியாக வச்சுட்டு நீங்கள் சாப்பிட்றத சாப்பிடவே மாட்டேன் அப்படி சொல்லிட்டீங்க. ஸோ அப்போ பிரெயினுக்கு வந்து தெரியும் ஓகே இவன் இனிமேல் சாப்பிட போகிற கிடையாது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிவிட்டு இம்மிடியேட்டாக ஆட்டோஃபேஜின்ற மோடை வந்து ஆன் பண்ணி விடும். ஆட்டோஃபேஜி மோடு என்னென்னா செல்லில் இருக்கிற கழிவை செல்லையே சாப்பிட சொல்கிறது. ஸோ அந்த ஃபஸ்ட்டு உங்களுக்கு பிரெயின் வந்து உங்களை சாப்பிட தூண்டுது, அந்த ஸ்டேஜெலாம் நீங்கள் தாண்டி போனதுக்கப்புறம் தான் அந்த ஆட்டோஃபேஜி மோடு வந்து ஆன் ஆகும்.
And also, for a certain level of purification in the body, you're supposed to fast. But you're in America. Even if you're leaving the house at 4:30 in the morning, you have to, because they've told you, you must eat something. Otherwise, your protein will go down, your vitamin will go down, your minerals will go down, salts will go down. This will happen, that'll happen, that'll happen, that'll happen, okay? That's not the way life works.
We know that it induces something called autophagy. I will speak more about this in a second, but this is spring cleaning for the cells. It is only evoked when we are fasted. Autophagy. We know that it lowers insulin levels, blood pressure, improves our cholesterol profile, and we know that it can reduce your risk for developing cancer and Alzheimer's disease, which I like to call type 3 diabetes, if for no other reason we want to protect our brains.
We can start with Hippocrates, who is considered the father of modern medicine. He famously said, "Our food should be our medicine should be our food. But to eat when you are sick is to feed your sickness." Other people that liked fasting include Benjamin Franklin, who is world-renowned as one of the smartest men who had ever lived. What he said was very wise indeed. He said, "The best of all medicines are resting and fasting." Well, that's very profound. Think about that for a second. Resting, which is freedom from stress, relaxation, and fasting, which is designed to cleanse the system, which is what it used to be called a cleanse or purification. Well, those are the two best medicines. Not drugs, not surgery. Resting and fasting. Amazing. Mahatma Gandhi also said, "A genuine fast cleanses the body, mind, and soul."
So this new study from UC San Diego looked at the question, does fasting, particularly 16/8, so 16 hours of not eating followed by 8 hours of food access, does that decrease the growth and promotion of breast cancer cells? So they looked at 3 different groups of mice. Some were obese, some were thin, some had actually been modified to carry a genetic mutation that predisposes them to breast cancer. They ate high-fat food, low-fat food, but the keys were this. They were all injected with breast cancer cells, and then they were divided into different groups. One had 24/7 access to food, and the other group did the 16/8 fasting, so they only ate 8 hours a day. And no matter what kind of mouse we were talking about, obese or eating fat or being fat, it didn't matter. They all did the best when they were in the fasting group, with less tumor creation from the injected cells. And then another group that they had proved the point as to why, and it turns out it has to do with insulin. So every time we eat carbohydrates and protein, you're going to get a spike in insulin, which is the big daddy growth promoter. It runs around screaming at cells, grow, grow. So you're getting these altered, mutated cells growing into a mass and then metastasizing as a cancer. And it turns out that insulin is really only quieted by one thing, not eating. So when you fast, you finally give your cells a break. The absence of insulin gives your body a chance to do some cell rejuvenation and repair.
But when you're doing fasting, you're getting a nice balance of more antioxidants and your body's starting to heal. Now, when you get to 48 hours, you really start to stimulate the stem cells. These are undifferentiated cells. In other words, they're cells that don't have a purpose. So they can turn into this tissue or that tissue depending on what the body needs. So you start to stimulate the stem cell and get more healing and more repair, more anti-aging. You also get decreased risks of certain types of cancer. You get shrinkage of certain tumors. You start making more mitochondria. Now, if you push it and go up to 72 hours, you get even more stimulation of stem cells, okay, and better immune function.
Cancer cells have 10 times the amount of glucose and insulin receptors as a regular cell, which means that they are 10 times more likely to be susceptible to the negative effects of glucose, which is exactly why fasting is so critical when it comes down to cancer prevention and potentially even cancer treatment. So here's the thing, by now we know that fasting is extremely powerful when it comes down to dictating how a cell uses energy, how a normal, healthy cell in the body uses energy. Okay, basically fasting will help a normal cell start to utilize fats as a fuel source significantly better through manipulation of the mitochondrial machinery within a cell.
In 1924, a famous German scientist and Nobel laureate named Otto Warburg observed that cancer cells eat a lot more sugar than normal cells. So this observation that cancer cells love sugar is known as the Warburg effect. And the Warburg effect tells us that normal cells can stop after just one piece of candy, but cancer cells can't stop eating candy.
Longo's research has shown that cancer cells are weakened during a fast and are more susceptible to chemotherapy while healthy cells are protected. And that caught the interest of 9 on Your Side reporter Jay Warren.
I was diagnosed with oral cancer this past April, and and I'd never chewed, never smoked, was never a heavy drinker, am not now, and it's really kind of a head scratcher for people.
Jay had a cancer on the side of his tongue that was surgically removed.
One of the things too that was also caught my eye is actually not eating at all. And the beneficial effects of fasting and what it can possibly do as it relates to cancer really caught my eye.
Now we know 75% of the cancers are due either due to tobacco or due to alcohol. But no government in the world, nowhere, has come forward to ban tobacco and alcohol because they are the ones that get them the lot of tax. And the governments run on tax, and the tax money comes from tobacco and alcohol to a great extent. So we want cancer, but we don't want cancer to go, because cancer is a business. Supposing cancer business goes away, cancer disappears, you will be surprised. Industries will close. Quite a lot of industries will close. Mind is the consciousness. The whole human being is the mind. So if your mind is pleased, your diabetes is gone. Your mind is pleased, your heart disease is gone. If your mind is pleased, your cancer is gone. You hate somebody, your diabetes goes up. You hate somebody, you get a cancer. And you're very angry with someone and want to destroy somebody, you get hypertension and so many other diseases.
During fasting, the body's healing process becomes a lot more efficient, and so the body repairs any damaged cells during this stage. During this stage, the colon, liver, kidney, lungs, and skin are detoxing by eliminating toxins.
Lankanam Parama Aushadham. I am not even saying you should go for absolute fasting, no food at all. No. One meal a day is great. Give a rich food with vitamins, minerals, all you need. Fruits. Have a vegetarian meal. Don't kill animals for your food. Vegetarian meal, one full meal is okay. Other than that, the remaining full 24 hours, Lankanam Parama Aushadham. You want to drink water to hydrate yourself, that is okay. One meal and only water after that meal. That can also be equivalent to fasting. That one meal, give all the minerals, vitamins, everything you need, fruits. Take the rich food, nothing wrong. That's perfect. I will say one rich meal, not that food food-like products, you see, all food-like products, plastic food, is middle-class meal. Natural, organic, fresh cooked is the royal meal. One meal a day. And then whole day, remaining time, you can have water to hydrate yourself. Lankanam Parama Aushadham. Nothing like fasting to rebuild powerful body. Build a powerful body.
This much we know. Suppose your friend is sick and in a hospital, you go there with what? Biryani, meen kolambu, fruit. So you know, it definitely works. So you have to get sick to eat the right thing. But if you eat the right thing, maybe you will not get sick. There is substantial studies in the world to clearly show if 30% of our diet becomes fruit, 40% of the healthcare bills in the world will come down. So in India, right now fruit consumption is at 4%. And that too, this 4% is calculated as per capita, but it's only in the elite segment that people are eating fruit. Down below, once a month also is not eating a single fruit.